A very good evening. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. My name is Sharon Chondesha with Nakakoni Elizabeth Omtan Language. You're very welcome to UBC News tonight at 10 p.m. Let's take a look at the headlines. Bujingo apologizes to women. Muyenge leaders launch night patrol scheme. Aerial mineral mapping excites Chiboga. Kismayo attack, 26 dead as gunmen storm hotel. She Cranes advance to next round at Netball World Cup. President Yoweri Museveni has visited Chato District, Geita region of northwestern Tanzania, where he had gone to pay a courtesy call on his host, President John Pombe Magufuli. Now, President Magufuli's country home is in Chato, and President Museveni called on him as he returned from Luanda, where he had attended a quadripartite summit involving Angola, Rwanda, and DR Congo. In Chato, speaking to excited residents, President Museveni said Tanzania was of immense historical importance to him and Uganda, explaining why any visit there is treated as a pilgrimage. Tanzania was central in the 1979 oust of President Idi Amin, while for President Museveni, he did not just attend university there, but used it as a base to organize for NASA.
President Yoweri Museveni has paid a courtesy call to his Tanzanian counterpart, President John Pombe Joseph Magufuli. The two leaders met yesterday in Chato District, Geita region of northwestern Tanzania. Speaking to the excited residents, President Museveni said Tanzania was of immense historical importance to him and Uganda, explaining why any visit there is treated as a pilgrimage.
Mimi kisiasa hija yangu ni Tanzania. Kwa hiyo nikija hapa ninakuja kwenye hija. Na nakuja kwenye hija kwenye sababu tatu. Ya kwanza ni undugu.
Tanzania was central in the 1979 ouster of President Idi Amin Dada, while for President Museveni, he did not just attend university there, but used it as a base to organize for NASA, the force that later changed to NRA, and successfully fought the 1981-85 Liberation War. He also took time to urge residents of Chato to embrace his message of wealth creation, which he has been preaching to their counterparts in Uganda.
Chato cha pombe, chato cha kwenda baharini ziwani kuvua, au chato cha kunywesha ng'ombe. Lazima mfanye utafiti mtuelezee.
Uganda, oye! Tanzania, oye!
On his part, President Magufuli thanked his brother, President Museveni, for the visit. President Magufuli also thanked his counterpart for rendering help to Tanzania from time to time, including most recently when he helped treat Mama Maria Nyerere in Uganda and also chartering an aircraft for her back home.
Kwanza kabisa napenda nikushukuru sana Mheshimiwa Rais. Uliponiambia siku ile kwenye simu kwamba una safari yako ya kwenda Angola, lakini utakapokuja utapita hapa Chato. Na kweli umethibitisha hilo kwamba umetoka safari yote karibu masaa 3 na kitu. Umepita Angola, umepita Zambia, umepita wapi, hukuteremka. Umekuja kuteremkia hapa Chato. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Rais.
The two presidents spoke about economic relations, citing that they intend to cooperate and make use of Lake Victoria to boost trade in East Africa, as well as the newly constructed Chato airstrip and the standard gauge railway. President Magufuli said the three states of Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania intend to pool resources for the purchase of ships to facilitate transportation of goods amongst the states. The two heads of state held a tete-a-tete briefly at President Magufuli's country home before President Museveni departed for Kampala. I'm Dennis Blair Kalanzi in Tanzania.
In more news, President Yoweri Museveni has participated in the activities to mark the second National Activity Day that was flagged off at Kololo Independence Ceremonial Grounds in Kampala District. The Physical Activity Day aims at informing the population in the country of the importance of physical activity and its relevance in fighting non-communicable diseases. As part of the activities, President Museveni led a section of Ugandans in a 5-kilometer walk around Kampala, highlighting the need to fight non-communicable diseases that is said are the leading cause of death of many people in the country and worldwide. Take a look.
President Yoweri Museveni has led a section of Ugandans in a 5-kilometer walk around Kampala, highlighting the need to fight non-communicable diseases that is said are the leading cause of death of many people in the country and worldwide. Today's activity day ran under the theme, My Health, My Responsibility.
That we are just walking around here and coming back. Me, I want serious walking, not just this way.
The president called on the health fraternity in the country to explain to the public what the non-communicable diseases mean by translating their names in all local languages so that the public is sensitized on the dangers and how to overcome them.
I think we shall have to do something to improve the teaching capacity of our doctors. They don't know how to communicate. I was listening carefully the way they were explaining, but they could explain more.
He cautioned the people about the use of tobacco, excessive alcohol and drugs, among others, so that there is a reduction to the dangers of the non-communicable diseases.
No alcohol, no tobacco, no drugs. Hiyo mambo ni mambo ya ujinga. I'm 74, no diabetes, no blood pressure. You can see it's not good to be indisciplined.
The president later launched a book entitled Presidential Initiative on Health Eating and Health Lifestyle.
This person is either pregnant or engaged in attempted suicide. I hereby launch the book of diet. It is here.
The book has all the necessary information for the public to live a healthy lifestyle. Health Minister Dr. Jenrutha Cheng thanked the president for prioritizing health, saying that his participation in the exercise sets a thrilling example for all Ugandans to emulate. According to reports, non-communicable diseases constitute a major public health in Uganda. I'm Dennis Blair Kalanzi for UBC News.
Thank you, Dennis Blair Kalanzi, for that wonderful report on fighting non-communicable diseases. In more stories, the institution of marriage should be treated as an important aspect of humanity since it is a source of life and facilitates family cohesion. According to Prime Minister Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, he particularly urges parents to continue their cardinal role of nurturing and guiding the youth to value marriage. The Premier was speaking at the introduction ceremony of Mrs. Chalisime Patience, which took place at Surface in Gardens in Kabale District. The PMP has a detailed report.
Minister spoke highly about the institution of marriage and advised the young couples to always take their marriages seriously. He particularly thanked the bride's mother for bringing up the children well after the loss of her husband. On behalf of the late Wilson Kakuru's family, the Prime Minister handed over the bride to the family of her fiancé, Daniel Twahirwa. He encouraged the couple to work together in harmony in order to have a successful life. The Prime Minister gave the couple one cow to boost their farming enterprise. The bride, Patience Chalisima, is the daughter of the late Wilson Kakuru, who was a prominent local leader and farmer in Kigezi sub-region. Reverend Stephen Tavaru from St. John's Church of Uganda, Upper Bugongi, presided over the church service. He advised the couple to love each other and put God first in whatever they do. The wedding ceremony was attended by the State Minister for Planning, David Bahati, some area members of Parliament and local government officials. Nasasra reporting for UBC News.
Thank you, Doreen Nasasra. Now, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Olanya, has lashed out at religious leaders who hobnob with corrupt persons while blaming government for failing to curb corruption. Olanya, who represented the First Lady Janet Museveni at the graduation ceremony of Zoe Life Theological College, urged Ugandans to denounce politicians and other citizens who swindle government resources.
Over the years, stories of public funds mismanagement have repeatedly been told, but the vice never seems to cease. Though some have been nabbed, some remain undercover, only adding to the ever-increasing statistics of corrupt people chiffoning the country's hard-earned money. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Olanya, now says many people have accepted corruption as a way of life.
And here we are talking as if we are talking from a distance. There is corruption in this country. There is corruption in this country. Who are the corrupt? Our own people. We eat with them every day. We drink with them every day. They are the corrupt people we are talking about. Shame! The battle to fight corruption begins with you.
Olanya wants religious leaders to shun the corrupt and stop giving them preferential treatment, like offering them front seats in their churches.
These days we glorify the corrupt. These priests who are here, when the corrupt come because they give the most money, they occupy the front benches in the church. And they are there, oh sir, oh hey madam, here. Why? Because the offertory is going to be gigantic. And then you say, bless you, may where it has come from, may you be rewarded.
This event was graced by both government and religious leaders, some of whom scooped certificates, degrees and doctorates.
I have worked for Kenya Revenue Authority very well, and at the point of moving out from Kenya Revenue Authority, I resigned to pursue a career that I thought was going to connect me with mankind, God's creation. And I looked at an opportunity where I could serve the less fortunate.
It is never too late to try and be a better person. For those who are already endeavoring to be persons of integrity, I would want to encourage you to continue. Let us fight corruption. It's killing our country. Corruption and selfishness are the reason we have a lot of the ills we are dealing with. I want to encourage you. There is everything to benefit from us not being corrupt.
Olanya scooped a doctorate along with former Archbishop of Church of Uganda, Right Reverend Henry Lukorombi, late Justice Catherine Bamugemereri, former Director General Kenya Revenue Authority, senior pastors who included Bishop David Chiganda, Pastor Andrew Senyonga, among others.
I've been awarded with the Doctorate of Divinity, and it has been a long journey because it combined everything, including the 35 years of ministry that I've been doing in this country, Uganda.
When I was crossing the border at Busia, that I found the headlines on the local newspapers were saying that a pastor has already killed like 500 people. And the immigration officers told me, if you are a pastor, we don't need you in Uganda because pastors are killing people. And I told them, no, I have a special call to come and serve God with other ministers in Uganda.
Well, congratulations to all those that went for school in theology. Now, the lead pastor, House of Prayers Ministries, Aloysius Bujingo, has denied claims of arrest as alleged by some sections of the public through social media users. Bujingo, who presided over prayers at his church, says he was misunderstood over remarks he made about his former wife's illness that lasted 10 years. He has, however, extended his apologies to Ugandans, especially women, saying he did not intend to demean them.
Sunday afternoon as usual. Praising and worshipping was the perfect description for the mood at House of Prayer Ministries in Kikoni Makerere, a suburb of Kampala. The lead pastor and church founder, Aloysius Bujingo, arrived to a thunderous welcome. It was an opportunity for him to clear the air. First, on the remarks he made on an illness that his former wife, Teddy Naluswa, suffered for 10 years.
Ebibadde biyitingana ku mikutu egya buli ngeri nga birowoozesa ensi nti Bujingo ayogera ebyo mu kisenge amaka ge agateeka ku kituuti naye ekisinga mu byonna tassaamu bakazi kitiibwa. Olwaleero bwe tubala abakazi abali ku kalale kuno basinga abasajja abaliwo by 70%, I believe. On record in my life, there is no one time that I have ever appeared in disrespect of women.
And then, the claims on social media that he was arrested over the same remarks, rumors he strongly refuted.
Noonyeza wensobola okugenda mbategeeze nti tewali yali ankutteko tibannankwatako simanyi na gye babijje. Kakati ono gwe mulaba ayimiridde wano tewalabikangayo kifaananyi kyonna nga nyimiridde naawe. N'olwekyo kino si bikadde bino bipya ndi bweru ate si kubeera bweru nti oba naabaddeko munda. Era singa babadde bankutte simanyi kyandibadde mu ggwanga lino kubanga buli high ranking official ankubidde ku ssimu ng'ayagala nakumanya ani ate oyo wooda enkwata kubira mukama engalo ez'amaanyi obanga otuulidde.
Bujingo has re-echoed his apology over the remarks, saying he was misunderstood.
Yesu Kristo yanjagala. Bwe nzuula omuntu nga tategedde kye ŋŋambye, as a man of God, as a person who serves God's people, I come down to apologize. And I'm here to apologize again and again and again and again. Netondedde ababaka ba palamenti abakyala, netondedde ab'ebibiina ebirwandiisi by'eddembe, netondera abakyala mu nsi yonna naye okusinga Teddy, kubanga Teddy ate wadde tulina ebitutawaanya akimanyi nti mu nfuna entono tewaliwo lunaku lwe namulekerera.
Pastor Aloysius Bujingo has of late been in the media over marital issues that saw him end his marriage with Teddy Naluswa. His recent remarks about her illness rubbed a section of Ugandans the wrong way, prompting him to apologize.
bwe nafukamira wansi era bajjaga nti yefukamiza naye mu mutima gwange neetondera abakazi mu ggwanga lyonna nzisaamu abakazi ekitiibwa mu kanisa eno era saavisi olwaleero ngidedicating eri abakazi.
How far this apology will be accepted by emotionally charged Ugandans remains to be seen. Henry Okurut, UBC.
That was Pastor Bujingo apologizing to all women in the country and worldwide. Now, Umeme, Uganda's electricity distributor, is implementing the free electricity connection policy across the country. Under the project, Umeme is to extend power to blossoming urban areas, industrial parks and residential areas, among others, where residents are to be connected free of charge, only supposed to pay a fee of 20,000 inspection and initial units fee.
The sight of electricity poles being offloaded the trucks excited residents of Nyangole 2 village in Tororo municipality, fed up with politicians' empty promises of bringing power. During campaigning time, development had stalled in Nyangole village that had last seen power 10 years ago.
Bisera bingi Nyangole wano tubadde tetufunanga amasanyalaza n'omukisa kwa leero ngeri kye tulabye Paul tusenyuse nnyo gavumenti gyetuyambye okutuyelesa Paul zino naffe tusenyukireko ku masanyalaza ge batuwadde sebo nga eri eno batulimba n'omunyu kwa zinja 5 efe netumwimbira oluyimba ati tumwate mama tumwate aloke nga uyegendera tumaze kumwimbira oluyimba nagenda nakola ebintu bye tetubirabangako.
Extending power to Nyangole 2, Umeme says is part of implementing the free electricity connection policy in partnership with government of Uganda.
We took another approach in the increasing uptake of the increased generation by identifying potential growth areas in the municipalities, in the trading centers, in sub-counties, at industrial parks and all mushrooming communities by taking extension lines so that we simplify the cost of connection.
Under the arrangement though, residents shall have to meet costs of wiring their houses in addition to 20,000 Uganda shillings inspection and initial units fee. The project is to be enrolled across the country.
The customers will be expected to wire their houses, and then they expected also to only pay inspection fee and the first initial units, which totals up to 20,000 only. So the cost of bringing the line, the poles, which was impending many customers, is no longer a problem. So we touched this all the over 25 industrial parks across the country. We touched all established townships, councils, municipalities, and all
over 2,000.
Every dream has a challenging journey. Ours began in 1998 with a mission to drive the development of a robust communications sector in Uganda. We created structures to champion the dream. We've evolved, made discoveries, supported great minds, empowered Ugandans, and fostered a vibrant culture, enabling communication for all. Down the years, we've created memories and networks, uniting generations and building great partnerships. Together, we can go even further. UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.
Have you completed Senior 4 or Senior 6 and you want to do a 2-year certificate or a diploma course? Makerere Institute for Social Development, an affiliate to Makerere Business School, offers programs in accounting and finance, business administration, procurement and supplies management, social work and social administration, information technology, counseling and guidance, human resource, project planning and management, journalism, secretarial studies, and many others. We are located on Sa Apollo Kegwa Road, next to Oilcom Petrol Station, with a UBTEP Center number.
You're still watching UBC News tonight at 10 p.m. In more news, local leaders in Muyenga Bukasa Ward in Machindi Division Council, in partnership with police, local defense unit and UPDF, have launched a joint volunteer community night foot patrol system to beef up night security in the area. Now, the move is intended, to concentrate on Sandak sports in the 15 zones in the area, considering some reported cases of drug abuse, night burglary and lawlessness in the areas in the recent past. Take a look.
Where is your ID? Ask him where is the national ID.
Community volunteer night foot patrol systems first became popular in the early 90s with an intention of beefing up night security in an area. However, with time, the system slowly faded, and that's why local leaders in Muyenga Bukasa Ward in Makindye Division, in partnership with police, local defense and UPDF, have decided to revive the old system. The area chairman, Makindye East Yasin Omar, and area woman councillor Dunavens Amahoro led the exercise in company of security personnel and residents.
As you know very well, this is a community policing area. We started in 2010. But for a long time it has been dormant. Now we are reviving it.
We decided to have a foot patrol together with the local leaders, the residents, police and the LODUs in order to see that we don't leave the work of security into the hands of security personnel alone.
Some of the local residents who participated in the exercise were optimistic that it will enhance security.
Few other people, CASA leaders, organized this patrol in conjunction with police in order to try and find out where the black spots could be and the causes of all this that normally happens during night time.
Do you have the phone number of your boss?
Yeah, I have.
Do you have it off your head?
No, the man is not around.
Yeah.
They were of the view that such schemes should be revived in the rest of Makindye Division. Report compiled by Juko Collins for UBC News.
Now, to Dan Mugula, music has veered off the course of educating, informing and entertaining as it was then to only entertain. The legendary Kadongo Kam music icons say the trend was worsened by technology, which saw compact discs replace tapes, partly rendering music in all in the whole country unprofitable. He attributes this to weak copyright law.
Jukira endagano, jukira ebirayiro, ddala walayira abo wali obatizibwa, nti neganye sitaani n'emirimu gye. Nakola ng'ebyo Katonda bye yalabya, nabeera mulaba yigganya sitaani, wayogera.
Any music lover who lived in Uganda in the late 1960s and early 1970s will agree that Kadongo Kamu was the most enjoyed type of music. It educated, informed, and entertained. In this Enkomerero song, released in 1968, legendary Dan Mugula was warning of the end times, drawing close.
Naye nze ng'ekigendererwa kyange kyali kyakulaga bantu nti oteekwa okweteekateeka mu budde bwonna, kubanga tomanyi oba enkyofa oba ssaawa eyoofa, kwegamba kati n'oba nga ekiseera kyonna weeteekateeka.
Inspired by the late Eli Wamala, Mugula's life has been rotating around music for the last 51 years. It is a career he admired during his days in school.
Bwemba sirimbye omugenzi Eli Wamala yatandika Kadongo Kamu wano mu myaka egyo egyataano eyo eri wamala najja nga ava mu kadongo kamu ye n'agenda mu nnyimba endala eza bandi, ate ne wafubutukayo omusajja omulala nga ye Christopher Sebadduka n'akwazza bulungi nnyo kadongo kamu, ate kati ffe ne tudda ku Sebadduka.
Salongo Dan Mugula is the fourth born in a family of 5, hailing from Gomba district in central Uganda. Talented as he is, he did not go far with his education due to financial inability.
Nenze nasomako mu kiseera ekya nti twasomanga nti junior 1 jetu, nenze nakuma mu junior 1 oba kati gye bayita senior 1 simanyi mwe abasomye mwe mubimanyi. Nenze nakoma mu J1 sente ne ziggwawo, nentandika okukakalukana n'ensi.
He however says today's musicians have deviated from the original role of educating, informing and entertaining.
Abayimbi abo abedda we bayimbira bo basooka kuyimba nga babuulirira, basanyusa, basomesa. Naye ate kati bodda ku mulembe guno oyinza okwesanga nga omuntu takyayagala kubuulirirwa, takyayagala kusomesebwa, kujjako kusanyuka ye kyanoonya mu kuyimba.
And this has been worsened by technology advancement that he says has denied musicians worthwhile economic benefits due to weak copyright laws.
Ennyimba kati zaafuuka za kyejeeji, buli muntu alikodinga nga bw'ayagala. Bw'olifulumya oluyimba tolina ajja kuga nti nkuweemu ssente, okujjako ga nti bwe lunaafuluma bwe tunaagenda mbivvulwa egindi banaaba bampa ssente n'engenda n'ennyimba. Naye akati ngaffe ebivvulu twabivaamu tugamba wange katulekera abavubuka nabo bagire ki, nabo bagende n'omulembe gwabwe. Leero ntongo njagala nkubuulireko, naawe omanyisa ekyoliko kati leero. Luli ntongole twasisinkanako naawe, naddekanga ntambula nze nkwekanga.
But speaking of the copyright, how did renowned live band music artist Misa Semakula come to redo his song Ntongo?
Misa Semakula yantuukirira ng'oluyimba olwo alwagala era naye aga nti kale nange twawuliranga ennyimba ezo ne bakadde baffe, naye nga zitunyumira ne bakadde baffe nga banyumirwa nnyo ennyimba ezo, naye mbadde nkusaba akayimba ako nkaddemu nange. Ne tukkiriziganya kye twakkiriziganya era ne muwa right ey'okugira ki, ey'okuluddamu.
Even when he has never been formally employed, Mugula is one person who does not believe in investing one's energy in one economic activity.
Mazima omulimu ogumu omutego bwe gumasuka kimanyi oli wakulya manyata. Bulijjo nateekwa okumutalira kankubulira oba obadde sebugayalirira.
And as he highlights this analogy, he advises former employees to set up side sources of income.
Omuntu bw'akola omulimu ogumu oba oli awo ayinza obutamalaako mu nsi naddala ku mbeera y'ensi nga kati bweri, ate era mu ngeri emu oyinza okuweesiga mu mulimu ogumu ne gugwawo. Kanjogerere ku bakozi abakola emirimu oba mu gavumenti, kakati ne bagenda ova ku mulimu ogwo nga tolinawo okwata wonna. Naye so nga bw'oba olinayo akalandirako, olina akantu ke wategekayo oba kaki, oba olima oba olunda, kwegamba kiba kikuyamba.
Dan Mugula, a renowned Kadongo Kamu artist of all time, who still sings, is a family man with a wife and children. He is currently into agriculture with much emphasis on livestock farming. Henry Okurut, UBC.
An interesting report on the legendary Kadongo Kam music icon Dan Mugula. Thank you so much, Henry Okrut, for that wonderful story. Moving on, lack of parental guidance has been blamed for being behind the increasing teenage pregnancy in Adjumani district and West Nile region. Leaders in the area attributed this to poverty, which they say is a stumbling block to the achievement of Vision 2040 and the commitments of the 1994 International Conference on Population and Development that sat in Cairo. Details follow.
We found this 16-year-old girl at Mungula Health Center 4 in Adjumani district, where she had just given birth to a baby boy. The young lady, who was a senior 1 student at Mungula Secondary School in Adjumani district, says her education was cut short after she conceived to a man that used to buy her sanitary pads, something she says her parents could not afford. Another young girl aged 17 years had also just given birth at the same facility. This particular one says her parents advised her to marry the time she experienced periods. Due to the pressure, she escaped from her parents' home in Adjumani town and went to live with her auntie in Mungula village. She was put in a vocational school where she met a colleague that made her pregnant.
This is a sub-county which by statistics has the greatest, is leading in teenage pregnancy. Monthly we get about 20 of them, teenage pregnancy. It could be more than that, but the challenge is they don't tell us the real age. So you may see a girl of 15 or 16, but she'll tell you she's 18 or 19, which will not count. Otherwise, if you could really get the real age of them, it will be more than that.
Miss Odaru Judith, a nursing officer and midwife at Mungula Health Center 4, says most of these girls deliver by cesarean section.
Cesarean section here is obstructed labor, and if we take the statistics, most of them are young girls under age.
Judith puts the blame to lack of parental guidance and poverty among families.
People do not know the importance of education, sending girls to education. They are still following their cultural beliefs of those days, where they feel girls are wealth. They don't bother to give guidance to these young girls. Where a girl goes to school up to P3 and then she comes home. So she takes the decision of getting married instead of continuing. And then also poverty is one. These parents leave these girls because they know even if they continue with the education, they may not afford to pay them in school, so they just abandon them to marry.
Teenage pregnancy has dire consequences for the girl child, as it contributes heavily to maternal mortality and school dropout. A 2017 Ministry of Education and Sports study on the linkage between teenage pregnancy and school dropout in Uganda shows that up to 22.7% of the girls dropped out of school due to pregnancy-related reasons.
They have experienced their first menstrual cycle and they don't have sanitary pads. The parents cannot afford sanitary pads. And you will be sure that this person will not take long before they get married. So it's unfortunate that this is happening, but we commit as leaders to continue to empower our people economically because we have the responsibility to plan for them.
Demographic reports indicate that 1 out of every 4 teenage girls between the age of 15 and 19 has already given birth or is already pregnant with their first child.
I associate with what they are going through. But for me, there are two things we have to differentiate. Sex and pregnancy. The process is clear. You'll first have sex before you become pregnant. So how much have we done to avert these people to have unwanted sex? Parents are very key, very instrumental to ensure that the children are brought up in a moral way and they are protected until they reach an age where they can really protect themselves.
This year's national commemoration for World Population Day was on the theme Renewing the Promise, empowering Uganda's youth to drive socio-economic transformation, well aligned with the global theme, 25 years of the International Conference on Population and Development, ICPD. accelerating the promise. We sought views of the young people on their take to end teenage pregnancies in Uganda.
I'm still young and you're forcing me to go for marriage. I'll straightly go to the police to report you because it is your right to support me in education and I should study, grow up and become a responsible person.
But I try to defend a certain girl who is around 15 years. That is automatic life in the prison. That is it. But I'm advising them to stop that kid. But because it is bad, and the parents also to not force their children to get married. The men also.
And other parents are too rude to their children. Because if you're too rude to your children, you will not even get an opportunity of handle your child or your daughter.
Knowledge have to be impacted to such girls, especially the young girls, because somebody might just grow from the childhood and having no information about what they should be doing and actually how to stay as girls actually.
To the National Population Council, the 47.9% of the population in Uganda being below 15 years means a high dependency ratio, over 103 dependents per 100 working adults, indicating a heavy burden on the economically productive population, as well as influencing government's efforts to provide adequate and quality social services.
Basic education. Education empowers. Education provides information. And if we can keep all the boys and all the girls in school up to the end of USE, I think we'll have done that as an intervention, really scores a lot of marks. The only thing, and our colleagues, the members of parliament, maybe can say something about this, is we need something, whether a law or regulations or what, to compel parents to make sure that they take the children to school. And if they don't take them, there should be punitive measures, because government has tried its best. The best they can do is make sure that the facilities are there, and then the parents should be compelled to take them to school.
25 years ago, in 1994, 179 countries, including Uganda, adopted a landmark program of action on universal access to sexual and reproductive health and rights during the International Conference on Population and Development, ICPD, held in Cairo, Egypt. In Uganda, for example, over the past 25 years, preventable maternal deaths have declined by 24% over the last 5 years, from 438 deaths per 100,000 live births in 2011 to 336 deaths per 100,000 live births in 2016. However, whereas the situation of women and girls in Uganda is getting much better in the last 25 years, the dream of ICPD has also remained a distant dream for many women and girls that are left behind, still waiting for the promise of Cairo to be fulfilled. In regions like West Nile, maternal mortality ratio stands at over 898 deaths per 100,000 live births, compared to national figures of 336 deaths per 100,000 live births, which is also still high.
It is very important for us to remind ourselves, and I say ourselves because it is the world community and the governments of the world, that in 1994 decided, committed, and promised that women's rights are at the center, or should be at the center, of development. So, the right not to die because you're pregnant or because you want to give birth, and the right to be free from violence. Let me be very clear. These are fundamental human rights. And unless and until these rights for women are guaranteed, poverty reduction is slower and development is slower.
At least 125 Uganda billion shillings has been earmarked by the Netherlands to step up support towards improving the sexual and reproductive health and rights of Ugandan women and men in the next 4 years, with the first concrete project targeting the West Nile. Bernard Yiga, UBC.
Now, girls in the Islamic faith have been urged to courageously take up their positions in the development agenda. The call was made at the closing ceremony of the Islamic Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, ISESCO Camp of Excellence for Mentoring Girls in Human Development at the IU Female Campus, Kaboja.
The Islamic Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, together with UNATCOM for UNESCO, IU and KIU, have held a one-week-long camp for secondary school girls from Uganda and beyond borders.
VC of KIU.
To mobilize, girls from Nigeria, from Sudan, from Uganda, different schools. And so on arrival, first of all, they were worried, knowing that they're going to spend a week away from school. But the experience they've gone through has been so enriching. First of all, they've been able to identify and define themselves.
The camp that kick-started a week ago arose from the need to fill the vacuum of mentorship in human development as identified by actors in the education sector. UNATCOM for UNESCO Secretary General Rose Agoy emphasizes the need for skills outside of traditional education.
Had the best quality of mentors and motivational speakers because they mentored the girls in skills, development, life skills, health, social cohesion, economic empowerment, games and sports, theater, and living together. So I must say that this camp is very successful, and the girls have gone out with something different for them. It has not been business as usual.
With the need to promote education further among Islamic communities, IUIU Vice Rector Academic Affairs Associate Professor Ismail Jagenda has implored girls in the faith to break through male-dominated fields.
I think it is a misconception that Islam does not support women education, because right from the very beginning, in fact the first verse of the Quran, the first message that the Prophet received was saying, read. That is the first verse, the first word that came. And then he also, there is a prophetic hadith that says, education, or the seeking of knowledge, is incumbent upon every Muslim man and woman. You need to develop, you must acquire the skills, you must acquire the knowledge, the know-how of how you are going to develop your community from the village level up to the nation. So we are encouraging our daughters where they can believe in themselves and know that they can achieve whatever they want.
At the closing of the camp at IUIU Females Campus in Kamboja, all participants walked away with certificates and fresh fires to chase their dreams.
This camp, I'm taking away something about emancipation. You have to, no matter even if you're a girl and you're in a very male-dominated society, and in our cultures and beliefs, the Baganas, everywhere you go, it's always the males. It's always, there is male chauvinism everywhere. But you have to stand up. One thing that you should just know as a girl, you can do anything in this world. Even if it's you can do anything. We're not trying to be men, because we can't actually be men, but we have to have the same opportunities with also the males.
The girls' camp ending successfully now creates a need to include the boys as well.
Boys also need a camp because the boys also have issues. Whereas they think that the boy child is ahead of things, we know the boy child also has challenges.
Rhoda Ngonzi for UBC.
From the business scene, the Directorate of Geological Survey and Mines and Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, in partnership with Javois Mining Company, has officially launched the mining exploration and drilling project in Chibouget District. This after a airborne geophysical survey carried out in Chankwanzi, Mubende, Mitian and Chibouget districts last year and discovered the anomalies of minerals such as copper, cobalt and nickel. Haruna has a detailed report.
Political and community leadership in Chibouget district are looking forward to economic opportunities being created after Java Mining Company started mineral exploration activities in the district. This comes after Canadian-based Java Mining Company confirmed 2 different discoveries of mineral prospects at one of its 2 licensed areas in Chibiga and Roma sub-county.
Advanced us, so we've identified a number of targets, but the targets we know are ones you see at the surface through sampling, and you really don't know until you take that next step and start drilling.
Dr. Jennifer Hinton from Java Mining Company said they are looking at rocks and soils to make new geologic maps and taking samples for further analysis.
Seemed like a an optimal place, including because of the existing data on the country, but an ideal place to start the exploration process and looking for more cobalt.
The Director Geology Survey and Mines at the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, Zakari Baguma, cautioned local leaders to convey the right message to the community about the purpose of the mineral exploration in Chiboga district.
Application, if it's very meets all the requirements, the legal and technical requirement, we grant the license.
Nkurunziza Godfrey, the Chief Administrative Officer Chiboga District, said the exploration aims at boosting government's vision of 2040.
We can allow these people who have been contracted by government to carry out exploration, the drilling, because it is for our benefit as a country.
The exploration and eventual extraction of such minerals in the area will trigger economic development for the residents in the district.
We are most likely to have multiple advantages, one of which employment. Because once they establish the mine will now, I don't think that will be just a one-day exercise.
A team of experts from Canada and Uganda, geologists and support staff are camping in Chibiga and Ramata, surveying and drilling rocks, hoping to extract copper, nickel, and cobalt. Mutesa Sira Haruna reporting for UBC News.
Once we get the rock out.
In our international news, at least 26 people, including a prominent journalist and several foreigners, have been killed in the attack on a hotel in southern Somalia. A suicide bomber rammed a car containing explosives into the Asase Hotel in the port of Kismayo, and gunmen then stormed the building. Now, journalist Hodan Nalaye, 43, and her husband Farid were among the dead. Islamist group Al-Shabaab has claimed the attack, the worst to hit Kismayo since they were forced out in 2012. A local politician, 3 Kenyans, 3 Tanzanians, 2 Americans, and 1 Briton were also killed, authorities say. Regional politicians and clan elders were inside the hotel discussing a forthcoming regional election when the attack began. Witnesses said they had a huge blast before several heavily armed men forced their way in. It took 12 hours for authorities to regain control over the hotel. Regional President Ahmed Mohamed put the death toll at 26, with more than 50 people wounded. 3 attackers died in the raid while 1 was captured.
Beauty. She wanted to tell positive stories from our homeland, which has suffered from years of civil war.
Negative things into positive.
Also targeted were politicians and clan elders who were inside the hotel discussing a regional election due to be held next month.
We are very much worried about the security of Jubaland, and we are very suspicious about the act which coincided during the peak of campaign.
Brought to you by Bet with 1xBet.
The 2019 Premier Bet-sponsored Uganda Chess League is underway with 40 teams, including some from across the borders, taking part. It will be contested every fortnight over 14 rounds, the first of which has been played at Zanadu Hotel in Kampala District. Detailed report follows.
Uganda's best chess players have started pursuit for glory in their respective clubs in the National Chess League. The 14-round tournament is to be contested by 40 teams in 2 categories using the classical Swiss format and the much-acclaimed Blitz in an open system where men can play against women.
This league is expected to be very competitive. With by press time now, 40 teams have already registered. And because of the sponsorship and the ambience and competition in the Uganda Chess League, we have seen teams register from Somalia and a team from Kenya. We also expected a team from Sudan, the Jongeli state, but because of the distance, they are unable.
Kireka Chess Club are reigning champions but will face stiff competition from others, notably Kireka Panthers and Mulago Kings. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
The Singleton Grand Finale Awards went on at Entebbe Golf Club after 7 months of tighter competition from over 200 golfers. The finale saved Richard Lutwama and Robert Senje winning all expense paid trip to Dubai to watch the grand finale of the Desert Classic, one of the biggest golf tournaments on the globe. The two overcame Geoffrey Orach and Andrea Tyree in the final games played amid this tight competition.
And step-by-step journey. It's been a lovely journey. We've grown in the game of golf, and we've enjoyed the entire journey. Off in trouble, Bobby started well. He put me on his back for the first 7 holes. Then I kicked in after hole number 7, and I began to play some good golf all the way to 17. And then Bobby carried 18. And interestingly, we win the first hole of sudden death with a bogey. So that's beautiful. The guys we played against, Andrew and Orach, wonderful golfers, beautiful gentlemen. They love the game of golf. I love their persistence, and they never give up, and they give us a lovely game.
Uganda's national netball team, the She Cranes, has progressed to the next round of 2019 Vitality Netball World Cup. This follows a 52-43 victory over Scotland at the M&S Arena in Liverpool. Take a look at the proud movement.
A lot of excitement from netball fans around the world. Cholhok.
Uganda's technical team are yet again tinkered with the lineup, but by the end of it all, it wasn't a topic for discussion because the She Cranes edged Scotland 52-43 to seal a place in the next round of the Netball World Cup in England.
Construction and pops one in.
The result was followed by scenes of joy from the Ugandan fans that danced to local music in a foreign land. As expected, Apes Poskovia played a key role offensively, though the contribution of Stella Oyela in goal attack for the second consecutive game exemplified a disciplined team effort.
Of course, we are very happy. We are so much grateful for having jumped from the downer ladder to the upper one. What I have to tell my girls is to keep strong, because the higher now here it is the difficult, but we are ready for the challenge as well.
Uganda next plays in a group of 6 that has England, Scotland, Jamaica, South Africa, and the winner between Trinidad and Tobago and Fiji.
Well, first of all, I'm so excited as the captain for the She Cranes that we made it this far, and I'm excited for the team. The girls coming in physically and mentally prepared to win this game is something that we always wanted, and as I said earlier on, we are here to represent Uganda and make Uganda proud. All I can say moving forward is that congratulations to us for jumping the group stage, and whatever happens ahead, we are prepared for it.
The rules of engagement are that in this Group G, all teams play 3 games against teams they didn't face earlier. This means Uganda can't play England or Scotland for a place in the semi-finals, though points hitherto acquired carry on.
The fans are
John Barnes, Sentinel.
69-48, Uganda win.
That marks the end of our news bulletin at 10 p.m. Thank you so much for watching. We'll take a final look at the headlines before we sign out. Pastor Bujingo apologizes to women. Muyenga leaders launch night patrol scheme.